these works are infinitely interpretable. You can go anywhere with them. So at some point you have to kind of choose, hey, what do we think about this piece right now, today? And how do we best tell that here and here and here and really here and here?
Pinch Gut was begun in 2002 because there was a sort of niche in Sydney for chamber opera. The large main stage 19th century productions were being done beautifully by Opera Australia, but the smaller opera wasn't really being done. Most people, when they think of opera, they think of 19th century opera. Big ladies with Viking hats, singing Ride of the Valkyries, Wagner and so forth. And in fact, there were more operas written in the 17th and 18th centuries than there were in the 19th century entirely.
I believe that this is more intellectual music, let's say. It's less about prowess of the singer and technique. It's mostly about the relationship between words and music.
Yeah, is that weird? Because I can do this. Is that better? That's better. Is that better? Because like,
I'm trying to rewrite Monteverdi.
Well, no, the opera that we're doing at the moment is by Monteverdi, and he basically invented opera. Previously, music was a lot of tunes all put together. We call that counterpoint. But in order to set off the text and to tell a story, Monteverdi and other composers invented this fresh genre from scratch. That's correct. But this is the other way I could do it. So.
It's an old opera, and it tells an emotional story that is absolutely contemporary. It's an electric combination of text and music, the most human of the three existing Monteverdi operas.
So previously, when Monteverdi wrote Orfeo, it was only for princes only, and it was a court genre. But then in the 1630s, some clever, rich families in Venice decided to make it public. And they said to Venetians, hey, if you want to buy a ticket, you can come and see what previously only kings and queens were able to see. People said, hey, Monteverdi, you've got to come back and you've got to look at how successful this new venture is. And so Monteverdi was compelled to write another opera, and that is Return of Ulysses. And it's wonderful because it sort of parallels his return, Ulysses coming back to Ithaca, to great triumph, to reunite with Penelope, is also Monteverdi's great sort of return to the operatic stage. You know, you see in this opera the Ulysses of the Odyssey, but in this piece, even though it's called The Return of Ulysses, it's really about Penelope and her emotional state. And that's another great strength of 17th century opera, is that the female roles are so strong. She's been waiting for Ulysses for 20 years. And she has these bunch of suitors who've come to court to try and convince her, hey look, Ulysses is dead, marry me and together we can create a new kingdom together. And in this opera, she actually wrestles with that idea. She says, having been loved was so painful, I can't love again. You know, and I think everyone can relate to that kind of emotion.
It's my first time with Pinch Gut Opera, and as soon as I arrived here, I immediately felt something different in the air. Their way of doing it, it's hard to put in words, but immediately it is different. There is something new, something fresh, something young.
The actual presentation of the piece isn't something from another time. This is a living, breathing audience who needs to have a story told for them today.
It sort of suits an MTV generation in a way, which I think I see a lot of parallels between that and Venetian audiences in the 1630s. They wanted quick changes between emotional states, and you get this in spades with this show.
All I can hope is that an audience can identify some moment of themselves on stage. Joy or pain or confusion, any of those things that we experience on a day-to-day basis that they experienced hundreds of years ago at the creation of this piece. any kind of theater has really only one task, and that is that you should feel just that much more human when you leave than you did when you arrived.